You are now tuning into a drop of melancholy. If you are in a good mood and wish to remain so, do not watch this video.
Hurricane Milton. So, where do we start? So you got the religious people, the religious community. They're going around saying that Hurricane Milton is pretty much God's judgment. God is administering judgment. He's administering punishment on people. That's what they're going around saying. So God's quick to punish somebody, but he's not going to help children that are sick. I get tired of them saying this. Okay, a lot of people in my area are saying this. Okay, even on the news, that's what they're saying. So God's quick to administer a punishment, but he's not going to help you when you're sick. Okay, he's not going to help this planet in no other way. Catastrophe after catastrophe. We just had another hurricane a few weeks ago that killed a lot of people. So God's quick to wipe out a bunch of people, but he's never there to help when you need him. You notice everything that happened, they always got to bring God into it. Okay? They always got to bring God into it. And when something bad happens, it's always, I told y'all, it's chaotic outside. I just heard a gunshot. Like, for real. I just heard a gunshot outside. Maybe that's God's judgment too. But anyway, every time something bad happens, it's always God's judgment. It's always God's punishment. Well, where's God when you need him? And I said this in the past. God's never around when you need him. All these people that were affected by this hurricane, did they really need punishment? Did they really need judgment? A lot of these were just old elderly people that lost everything. Some of them lost their lives too. Their whole life just washed away in an instant. This world has always inflicted suffering and misery upon people since the day of its inception. There's always been hurricanes. There's always been natural disasters, just devastating this planet, just devastating the people of this planet. So God's behind that too, right? Read the Bible. What happened in the Bible? Okay, what did the Bible say? A flood happened and wiped out a bunch of people. Fires. Even earthquakes. I told y'all about what happened in Lisbon. They were in church praying and the earthquake wiped them all out completely. Then the tsunami came through and washed it away. So I guess God's behind that too, huh? But whenever they can't, I'm talking about religious people, whenever they can't form a logical answer to something, they always bring God into it. If the God they worship is quick to deal so much misery, so much destruction, but he's not there when you genuinely need him, they need to question the God they worship. They do. They need to question the God they worship. If he's quick to just cause all this destruction, all this misery, take a bunch of people out, a bunch of innocent people that's just living their lives, he can do all that. But the slightest thing he can't help you with, then they need to question the God they worship. I know I would. That's why I don't abide by none of that stuff. Okay, because it's all a bunch of BS. I was watching a video, and I forget what state this was in, but it was an elderly couple. They were church-going people. Not this hurricane, but the hurricane prior. Helene, whatever it was called. That hurricane. But anyway, I think they had a 2-story house. They were upstairs, and a tree had fell. Okay, when they found the bodies, they were hugging each other. They went out in that position, hugging each other. But they were an elderly couple, and they say they were very religious and church-going people. But that's what happened to them. So how do you explain that? And you know, religious people say, oh, well, it was their time. God wanted them. They're going to come with every excuse they can. No, that had nothing to do with it. Talking about God wanted them. No. The tree fell and just took them out. So if I was a religious person like that, I would ask, instead of saying God wanted them to come home, I would ask, why couldn't God prevent that tree from falling over? These people were happy, and it always happens to the people that are real happy and real enthusiastic about being on this planet. They're usually the ones that get taken out. A tree fell and took them out in an instant. All right, and these were, like I said, old people, church going, religious, all that, believed in God, all this stuff, and that's what happened to them when that hurricane came through. Tree fell on them, took them out. When they found them, they were hugging each other tightly. I guess they heard the tree falling, they heard it crashing through the roof, and they knew what was going to happen. I don't know, but that's how they found them in that position. So, yeah, that's very devastating, you know. But again, it just goes to show what they'll say. They'll bring God into it. And they always, no matter how bad a situation is, they'll always bring God into it and make an excuse saying, oh, God wanted them to come home. God needed more angels. It's always God, this, God, that. And like I said, the more they talk, the more ridiculous they sound. The more ridiculous they sound. No. They went out in a very bad way. A tree fell on them and crushed them. That's horrible. That's horrible. So if I was part of that group, again, I would ask, why couldn't God stop it? See? And they'll say God worked in mysterious ways. Well, I agree. He do work in mysterious ways. But it's not in your favor. The mysterious ways he worked is not in your favor. That's the best way I can explain it. And then they want to say, pray. Pray to what? Pray to what? When has prayer ever benefited humanity? Why are you praying to? You praying to, people say they pray to the universe. You pray to the universe, well, the universe still going to inflict all this devastation, all this destruction. When the first storm hit, Helene, whatever it's called, started with the H. I don't even keep up with this stuff, to be honest with you. When the first storm hit, people were praying. People were praying. Not even 3 weeks later, another storm hit and devastated the whole surrounding area. See? So what good does prayers do? Prayers never benefited humanity. All right, if anything, it's more of a coping mechanism than anything, because it never did any good. All right, I was watching pictures of the storm damage, and it was devastating. It was devastating. So from that first storm, when they prayed, what did the prayers do? Another storm just came through. What are you praying for? And they don't know how many people perished in this storm. Those numbers have not been released yet. I haven't heard anything on that, but I'm sure it's quite a few. Because when the first storm happened, those numbers didn't get released until a few days later. So we'll see what happens. But ain't no point in praying for this. I know religious people gonna do what they do, but I'm just saying, it ain't no point in doing that, because you see what's happening here. You see what's happening. We're having back-to-back disasters. And like I said, since this earth been earth, there's always been just devastation inflicted upon the people. All right, and this is yet another example. Then I hear people say that the storm's man-made and all this. I don't know. I'm not going to say it is. I'm not going to say it's not. I don't know all that. I just know it's happening. I don't know who's behind it. I don't know if they got something that can manipulate the weather. That's what people are saying, but I don't know. I don't really buy into that. But all I know is that it's happening. It's creating more misery than what people are already experiencing. People are already living difficult lives. Okay, they're already living difficult lives with, I don't need to explain that to you. You already know why people are living difficult lives. A lot of people are already miserable. Then something like this happens, it just amplifies that misery. Okay, imagine you're barely getting by. You got a small house. Your whole life is there. Then within an instant, it just gets washed away. Literally washed away. Literally. Now what? See, now what? And when that last storm happened, those people got $750, I think from FEMA. I don't know, but they had got $750. I had put that in my community post. They're saying, okay, take this $750 and you can buy. They're saying you can buy things like a new TV, a new laptop. $750 ain't gonna cover that. All right, my laptop was $2,000. All right, the average TV is about a couple $100s. I'm sure people aren't going to rush out to buy a TV anyway. They're going to buy other stuff, but that $750 is going to be gone within a matter of days. If that. That's nothing. You lost your whole life in one of these disasters. $750 isn't going to do anything. But that's what they gave these people. But they're saying that it's not just a $750. They're saying that you're going to get more, but I don't know. I just heard the people got the $750. But they claim that you can get more money than just that. But they're giving people the $750 first. But either way, that's still nothing. If you just lost your whole life, imagine you right now, wherever you live. Imagine all that just got washed away. What's $750 going to do? All right, even if you got to buy shelter, hotel, that's gonna be diminished. You're gonna deplete that money within no time. That's the point I'm trying to make. And I don't need to tell you what they're doing with these illegals, because you already know. Everybody else is getting everything handed to them. Okay, these other countries, inordinate amounts of money. Okay, but the citizens here that just experienced a natural disaster, they don't get nothing. See? Well, they get something, but it's not much. A couple $100s isn't gonna do nothing. All right, so yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But when things like this happens, it just goes to show how corrupt this really is, and you can see it with your own two eyes. So yeah, that's all I gotta say on that. Let me know what y'all think. I'll catch you on the next one.